Hello, online Java students. My name is Dennis. I am the instructor for this course. Just wanted to go through a sample program of what is expected from you. Let's start with on the top of at least your class that holds your main method, which I like to always call test class. I would like a comment header. Your name or the people in your group who are writing the program, when you started writing it or when it was written, and a brief description of what it does. So I like to call that a comment header, and that needs to be above the class that contains main, which I like to call test class. You can put it in every class as we move forward, but at least in the test class. Something to note in this video and in other videos that you're going to see from Dr. Colin Archibald, class names begin with a capital letter. Class names begin with a capital letter. For my C students, here is my includes. In Java, we call it import. And we can be very generic and say import everything in the folder java.utl. And we could say include everything in java.io. A class is a container for a program, and this class I named test class. Notice test class begins here and test class ends down here. Test class ends down here. So this program begins at the beginning of test class and ends at the end of test class. So this class in capital letters is a container for the program. This program begins with main, and you're just going to have to get used to this syntax for now. Public static void main and the argument list. So this is a sample program that I'm showing you now of a menu-driven program. So I just want any of you that have not had me for a previous class to understand what a menu-driven program looks like. I'm going to need a variable to store whatever the user selects as his or her choice from the menu down here. A menu program is embedded inside of a do-while loop. So inside of this do-while loop, I will have my menu-driven program. And in my menu-driven program, I'm going to have a switch. And in each of my switches, in each switch, I will have cases. Each case will be calling an individual method at some point. So my main is nothing more than like a commander or the general who shouts out orders to various methods, and those methods will get executed. So as I was speaking, I was kind of reformatting or just rearranging my code. The reason I wanted to do that is so you could see that I would like proper indentation. This should be something you learned in COP 1000. This should be something you learned back in COP 1000 days. So again, here's my do. Here's a call to a function. This is a method. You'll hear myself and Dr. Archibald call methods functions, kind of interchangeable, but Mr. Gosling, when he invented Java, he decided to use the word method instead of function. So this would be a value returning method because it sits on the right side of the assignment operator. It returns a value through the method and stores it in this variable uptype char choice. I would be switching on either A, D, M, or Q. If the user does not enter A, D, M, or Q, then I will do this default and I will say invalid selection, try again, and I will loop back up. I will continue to loop back up until the user selects Q. Notice it says until the user selects capital Q. Let's take a quick look at this method. Again, the whole purpose of this was just to show you a menu-driven program. But here's a method. Let me just get everything else out of the way and say, here's a method. And this method starts with the keyword public, so it can be viewed by everyone. It is a static method. You'll see later that means it belongs to this class called test class, and that also means it does not belong to an object. This is a value returning method, and its name is getChoice, and it does not have any parameters. I'm going to create a local variable called result, and then I'm going to set up a scanner. Set up a scanner is how we're going to get input from the console window from the user. So scanner input new, keyword new creates a new object. So this thing called input is actually a scanner object. A scanner object has all the properties of the scanner class, meaning it has behaviors or methods. Nothing more than a few print lines. Here is a kind of interesting little statement here. And that statement is, I'm using this input object, calling the method nextLine. Well, the method nextLine actually returns a string, and this is a char. So I have to only parse off of this string of nextLine the first character. But before I do that, I call another method that is available to me from a string, which this is, called toUpperCase, and it's going to convert whatever this line is, all the letters into uppercase letters, and this char at is going to treat this string like an array and get the 0th element. So this converts the character entered into a single capital letter and assigns it to result. And then down here returns result. Now, you're going to see Java give you a warning if you do not close your input. But the problem is, in the later versions of Eclipse, it'll give you an error. So even though Java says you should close it, if you do, your code is going to crash. So notice I commented that out, and I'm just going to take it out altogether. All right, so let's quickly review what we talked about here. So let's take a look at this program one last time, and then we'll be done. All right, so here's the program. Begins with my comment header. I import whatever I need to make the program work, and you'll see that as time goes on. My program begins with my class, ends with the last mustache. For those of you that had me in COP 1000 or 2220, I call curly braces mustaches, and I know I have to pair them up. I like to have comments at least after my methods, but you'll see later that'll become out of control. Here's my do while, here's my switch, here's my cases. I'm going to run this, and notice when I run it, when I run it, my console window appears at the bottom of the screen. A little awkward, and later when you do advanced Java, you'll be using actually GUI interfaces. So it's looking for me to type A, D, M, or Q. I type F, and it says invalid selection, try again. I type Q, thanks for using my program, have a nice day. Yeah, I know you might be saying, why is he not clearing that console window? And the answer is because there is no clear screen command. Okay, that's it. I don't want to go any longer. That is Intro to a Java Program 101 and a Menu-Driven Program 101, and how to write one method 101. Thanks. Have a good day.